Well, everybody, I've had a ton of requests for this one. There's been a lot of buzz about it, and I hope you're ready because this might be single-handedly the most over-the-top RV I've ever seen. And I love it. Hey everybody, Josh the RV Nerd with Bish's RV, down here at Brinkely once again in the Brinkley Model G Dream Room. This is where they craft up these crazy new concoctions, and today, this is a model that has been a long time coming, and I think the wait was worth it. The new 3950 Model G. I've made no secret about the fact that, I'm not a big toy hauler guy. But this thing gets my goat, and I think it's because it just doesn't read like a toy hauler to me. This is perhaps the single most over-the-top series of mainstream luxury fifth wheel I've ever seen. It just happens to have a 14-foot garage off the back of it that could hold just about anything you can imagine, including even big side-by-sides with custom wheels due to the way that the half bath back there works. Speaking of which, that half bath is one of the best I think I've ever seen, and it's just a half bathroom. They paid so much attention to it, so much customization, it's crazy. But if you're not familiar with these, we've got a 101-inch wide body with 6-point hydraulic auto leveling and all the goodies, including an amazing power system. You have a dual fuel onboard generator. It can switch between gasoline and propane, and it can do it on the fly. It gives whole house inversion to run all your outlets. Speaking of which, this has a factory standard 3,000 watt inverter wired to the whole house. It'll run everything by default except any of the air conditioners or the microwave. But the thing is, it's not real hard to mess with the power distribution and to tweak that around. We'll talk more about that later. You've got over 40,000 BTUs of cooling power, a massive heating system. All 3 air conditioners have dedicated high-efficiency heat pumps. So this RV has a dual heating system. You have electric and propane, and you could run them simultaneously. And even the garage floor actually has a hollow, empty mid-cavity that is forced air heated. They're doing things here that just have not been done in the mainstream market before. But what I love about it, the whole living room arrangement on this is crazy bonkers with that giant wraparound everybody gets to party sofa. But off the side, you have a Dinesk that you can eat at. You can hang out with friends and family. You can do anything in this rig. And that's why I think it is so very cool. And there's so much I haven't touched on yet. It's got some ups, it's got some downs, but overall, this thing kind of blows my mind. It blew the hair off my head. Look at me. I'm over here, representing the hair club for men, and that's H-A-I-R, not H-A-R-E. That's a totally different club. By the way, if you like how we get down here and get you all this footage, hit that subscribe button, like our video. I'll quit rambling. Let's get going because, folks, we got a ton to cover. And this video is going to run long. However long this video is, I spent at least 3 times that much time putting this footage together. So I hope you appreciate today. Real quick, one of the things that is nice is you do have the 3 Seasons patio wall in the back here. So it's kind of there when you want it, gone when you don't. And you may have noticed those extra Rockford Fosgate speakers back there. Listen, I'm just going to say, it might surprise a lot of people. I used to be in a Southern Michigan rock band, and don't get me, we were never going to play at the Coliseum, brother. I was never going to open for Metallica. We were loud and we had a lot of fun. No idea if we were any good or not. But I got an appreciation for that loud sauce, and the sound system in this is the truth, dude. It absolutely delivers. It absolutely delivers. But phones, cameras, they don't tend to really pick up that audio well. You really have to experience that in person. But look at this. The garage is amazing. We're going to come back to the garage. I didn't just skip over it. Look at the living room. This does not feel like a toy hauler. This is a full-on luxury cruiser, buddy. I've seen plenty of very expensive motorhomes that don't quite match the interior here, but that's the thing. This kind of has the budget of some of those motorhomes. Now, we are all carpetless, all ventless, all carpetless floor flush slides, and I am loving the Dinesk arrangement that one of our handy RV viewers here on the channel coined that phrase Dinesk, and I think it's absolutely perfect because it can do a little bit of anything. It does have power outlets and everything, so if you do want to legit run the laptop in that corner, there's a little feed hole where you can run your cables. It does exactly what it's supposed to, but it can extend, it can slide, it can create a couple different things. It can do everything but the time warp again, effectively. Now, our windows, any window that opens does have bug screens. Your windows will have two-section. Sorry, I lost my balance. Talking so much, I got a little bit of a head rush there. Two-section day and night shades. The night shade section, by the way, has a radiant barrier backer on it. So if you are in screaming hot sun country and you want to run all three of those air conditioners and keep the sunshine out, you absolutely can do that. A couple of Brinkleys I've been in at our dealerships on location. Even when they're not being climate controlled, like this past summer, they always felt like 10 degrees cooler inside than most other things because their package just works. So you have 4-zone speaker entertainment, 3-zone air conditioning, and each air conditioner has its own electric heat pump. So you have a propane furnace, you have 3 heat pumps in the ceiling, and you have an electric space heating fireplace down below. Not to mention your holding tank heaters, your belly heating, like you have electric and propane heating inside and outside the RV. It's pretty crazy. And it's funny because I walked in and I thought, that wall looks a little bit blank, but the thing is that's not just a wall above or below the TV. It's actual cabinet storage, and we're going to get you a look at that in a little bit here. So first of all, when you're sitting in this wraparound party barge sofa right here, everybody can legit enjoy the entertainment. But the thing is, this is a totally custom sofa. Brinkley could not find an existing RV supplier who was capable of fulfilling this, so they made it themselves. It's a power sofa, and it's got all sorts of sensors and actuators in it so that basically it will be eventually tied into the RV's one-touch, one-control system, so that eventually you'll be able to walk into your RV and push one button, the slides will open, the couch will extend itself. Also, the couch has multiple different settings and configurations. So right now, we have a double cushion Mega U kind of super lounge. When we open the dining table, when you extend that dining table, it gets super bossy and you almost completely lose the hallway. Well, Brinkly is aware of that. So you see how you have the 2 cushion middle sections? You can remove one of those, power close the couch a portion of the way, still have a U-lounge that a lot of people can chill at while still leaving room. Oh, I bumped. Oh, shoot. I bumped the turn off all lights button over here on the control pad behind me with my dad bod. There we go. Well, there you get to see kind of everything kicking on and off. You know what? Let me give you a better look at that, actually, because this thing has one button to rule them all, which I think is a really cool thing. And it's doing bedroom lights and hallway lights and everything else behind me. Doesn't this sort of look like, those movies where somebody's in a government bunker surviving doomsday, like Terminator? Isn't that what that sort of looks like? Anyway, now you also have the option, if you want to make it kind of like a giant sleeper, you can take both middle sections out as well, and you will need to retract that to close the slides, but it has sensors that will not allow you to close the slides while the couch is open. So you won't be able to accidentally smash and crash things with those fast-moving, very powerful hydraulic slides. Up top here, of course, the rain-sensing XL Max Air Fan. You'll find another of those in the bathroom, or as I affectionately refer to them, the Fajita Friday Fume Fighters. And the Model G actually does come with, I'm not going to get into all the details, but basically, internet connectivity enhancement, like access point system right there, where you can use existing Wi-Fi sources. You can there's an LTE service available for that. There's a lot of things that it can do, and that's all integrated. Now, if you want to go adding Starlink, they actually do have a cable conduit prep from your compartment, your pass-through compartment up to the roof, where you could actually run some of that wiring and whatnot. And yes, 2 adults can very comfortably, legitimately sit there. I'm a little bit over 6 foot. Jeremiah, who has helped me out in a couple of these videos down here at Brinkley, he's about my size. The 2 of us got along there just fine. Both of us running our laptops earlier. Now that Rockford Fosgate sound system, there's ability to control it from your phone. You can control it right here from your living area. You can. There's another one of these in the garage. There's one in the pass-through up front. And again, it's 4-zone. So if you want to rock out on the patio, but you want to keep it cool, calm, and collected in here, you can totally do that. If you want to, just enjoy something inside, like a crazy Arnold Schwarzenegger shoot 'em up, get on the chopper kind of movie, you want to watch some Predator, you can do that too. But you don't necessarily have to blow away the neighbors outside, which is nice. I really like the full backsplash right there behind the sink. Although I have to really go looking for trouble on this. I appreciate that the stove is not dead against the wall. That's nice. I still feel like I'd like manufacturers to maybe focus a little bit more on doing side splashes there. Now, I realize as I'm recording this, I forgot to get you a look at the drawer below the stove, but understand you do actually have a drawer down there below the stove. One thing I want to do here is, like, if I take a knee, you look over here and you can see, like kitchen light switches. You've got a thermistor, temperature sensor here. You've also got some handy USB plugs, but your fan controls, some household outlets, they're right down here a little bit closer to countertop level. Now, they don't quite have that opportunity under the overhead over by the sofa. So they do have some switches and outlets just above that little plant that's put out there for display. I'm going to name him Robert. Robert Plant. Anybody catch that reference? Anyone getting your lead out right now? Oh, thank you. I have a weird thing about this. A lot of manufacturers will do lights in the slide box ceiling, but then they don't do lights under the overhead cabinets. I love that they did that. I don't like shady, weird dark zones in RVs. I have this weird fixation on that. It drives me kind of nuts for some reason, like a pirate with a steering wheel for a belt buckle, but neither here nor there. I love, by the way, also, just easy, if you don't want to go Bluetooth, you don't want to R2-D2 beep boop that control panel, you do have just simple little light switches physically available all over the place. Now, this refrigerator, that is a 19 cubic foot GE Energy Star rated high efficiency. It's not a 12 volt, but the thing is, now that I've learned a little bit more about this, I get why they're using it. It's Energy Star rated. If you don't know what that means, this actually is more power efficient than a 12 volt fridge. And considering this RV has a 3,000 watt onboard inverter, 800 watts of solar, onboard lithium batteries, I think it's doing well, basically. Now, this is also really, really nice. Anywhere, like if you see that little rubber bumper, that rubber baby buggy bumper right there, anywhere that a door or a cabinet door handle would bump into something, they put those things. And it's those little 1 cent detail differences that make me really like and appreciate what Brinkly is doing. By the way, you see these little black pedals at the bottom of those double pantry kind of things right there? Those are locks. That's how you lock it open, lock it close. You just push your foot on that to open and close it. Speaking of opening and closing, we have some serious storage to take a look at. So starting up top here above the fridge, looking down below, I love that lower chest style freezer. Again, it's resi type fridge, very residential looking and feeling. But then you have this big double pantry situation over here. The pantry portion has dedicated drawers. Then they have what they call the utility closet. All of it's removable shelves. If you want double pantry, you have double pantry. If you want to take the shelves out and have room for brooms, well, they're sweeping up the competition. See what I did there? Anyway, there's a big pots and pans drawer. I don't think the camera caught below those two drawers to the left of the sink. And I wanted to almost knock them for not putting wastebasket space under the sink. But as we work our way around here, when you get into the island, you'll eventually see that it does have a double wastebasket built right into the island. But also in the island, they have that handy paper towel roller that, you can just pull it right out of the drawer and you can set it wherever you want, or you can use it right out of the drawer. They have the removable cutting board, and I love that removable, partitionable, if you will, silverware drawer built right into the island. And I personally am very much a fan of when RVs do not have sinks built into the island, because I like that open prep serving space and station, especially in an arrangement like this where the island and part of the kitchen counter comes right up next to that sofa. You could have a drink or something behind you and just reach back and grab it when you need it, when you're ready, or, don't when you're not. But again, look around the entertainment center. Above and below, what looked like a blank, empty, forgotten wall is totally not forgotten. There is storage in there. Again, we have that sliding Dinesk, if you will. And here's a quick note on that Dinesk. It comes with the two, I'm going to call them bucket chairs that you're looking at today. It will not come from the factory with additional folding chairs. What this RV is kind of set to do is, if you want to have a big old everybody gather around the table situation, wait till we get back in the garage, because there's a table for up to 6 people back there. Inside here, you've got your dedicated workspace, or it could be dining, like two-person dining plus two-person at the bar kind of party situation while you're watching the sports draft, making the game day bucket go boom or something like that. As long as we're on the Arnold kick, probably again watching Predator, which I still today. Is there an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie better than Predator? I'll wait. I don't know that there is. Oh, I love all that indirect lighting going on there under the island. There's also indirect lighting over here by the hallway steps, so that, and you've got the handy Brinkley kind of almost like WeatherTech sliding tray mat sort of thing. So if that's your flip-flop shop, that's your shoe garage built right there. And again, this is basically generation 1 of this sofa. It's going to get better. It's going to get simpler and easier to use. When we close this all up for road mode, it's your head's going to explode at the number of cushions that it has. They know that this is not the way that it needs to end. This is just a functional proof of concept, and it will improve further. But I love, like, you want to have 4 to 6 people all wrapped around, you want to have a book club? You can have a book club in your Brinkely, the Brinkley Book Club. That, by the way, if that doesn't turn into a Facebook group, the Brinkley Book Club, I don't want to live on this planet anymore, because that's a thing that needs to happen. Moving our way upstairs, once again, this does not feel like a toy hauler. Everything up here just feels like a luxury rig. You still maintain the solid surface counters in here in the bathroom space. Like all your Brinkley fifth wheels, you have that, I'm not aware of anyone really beating this in any sort of RV like this, 79.5-inch upper deck ceiling height from floor to ceiling, including the shower floor to ceiling, 79.5 inches, which is awesome. Now, you can see that it does have a true pocket door, and one of the other nice things here is the bathroom is very nicely separated and contained from the main living room. If you're a person who's worried about bathroom privacy, I found that most people aren't worried about somebody peeking in at you. They don't want someone else to hear what is going on in the bathroom. I get it. That's fine. I respect that. You will find that both here in the main bathroom as well as in the half bathroom, they've made some efforts for that to not be an issue. First of all, space around the toilet in this 101-inch wide body beauty is fantastic. And did you notice there's also a built-in wastebasket right beside the toilet? That is very handy for personal things sometimes. Now, as we slide up this wall, on the left, the wall looks a little bit blank, but on the right, you might notice how you couldn't hang towels and stuff there, because just like the kitchen pantry, you've got what I call the slide open perfect pantry right here in the bathroom as well. But just like the kitchen, it's like a 2-segment with removable shelves. So the storage, wherever you put stuff, it's going to stay where you left it. You're not going to have to go digging in there, in case something falls, you're not going to lose anything. It just makes more sense. It's just so much smarter the way that they're doing that. Now, the shower is a fiberglass one-piece molded enclosure. And again, looking at the upper deck ceiling height here, I was very pleasantly surprised by this. Most RVs, I have to duck pretty significantly to get myself into that shower. I'm a little bit over 6 foot. I'm wearing my shoes in this footage. I did not have to duck to even get into the shower, let alone all the headroom above it. Now, we have the skylight above, but if you're camping and it's nighttime, you have the glow lightsaber beam built right in there, so that you have all the illumination where and when you want it. Now, if you're looking at this, there's no dedicated seat really in the shower. It is prepped for one. If you watch my factory video tour on Brinkley RVs, you'll see how their showers are prepped and ready for one of those like 300-pound rated folding seats. So if that's something you want, it's totally something you could have here. But we're not. But wait, there's more. Still looking here, it looks like a mirror on the wall, but that actually is a medicine cabinet. And again, I almost wanted to clock them a little bit for not having a wastebasket space below the sink. But there's already one wastebasket built into this bathroom. But the thing is, the shelf below that sink is removable. So if you do want to put another wastebasket in there, it is ready and capable of accepting one, which is awesome. Now, again, you've got dimmer lighting. I didn't mention that. You have dimmer lighting, bedroom, living room, like all your main ceiling cabin lights are dimmable. You've got that awesome, amazing overhead height. But one thing you're not going to see a lot of is fasteners. It is actually here. Now that I've said that, I found one. If you look up inside that cabinet, you can actually see one Phillips screw head. Beyond that, though, everything just looks clean. Because like all their side fascia, all that stuff, they fasten it from the back side so that it's, you know, you don't see the it sounds like a jackhammer staple gun going off. You have I call them just upper like headboard phone stands or something like that. Those, to me, that's not a CPAP shelf. I'm not a CPAP user. My understanding is you're not supposed to really have them above your head anyway. But they have some solutions for that. Give me just a minute, we'll get there. First of all, again, even in the front closet, you see how you have that glow lightsaber beam lighting going on right here. Smart TV in the garage, in the living room, in the bedroom, all factory standard as well, which is really nice. And again, multi-zone entertainment. So, if you want to like hook up a gaming system in one room and not hear it through the whole house, you don't have to do that. Now, by default, we have the RV king bed here. If you do go with the queen bed, what's kind of nice is you'll gain 5 or 6 inches of extra walk-around space on both sides of the bed. You'll also get bedside nightstands built right into the slide box. So if you are looking for CPAP space, or you just want a little more room, or you want to be closer to your loved one, you can do that. But I mentioned CPAP capability. Well, first of all, look how much room there is to walk around either side of the bed, and that's with the king bed. But if I get this thing out of the way, and if I use my shoe to activate the motion light down there, you can see how this thing actually has household USB outlets. You've got that indirect motion lighting back there as well, so that if you want to, get up at night and not disturb your partner, you don't have to turn on all the main cabin lights. It's just smarter, and there's room beside the bed to add a stand if you do need a stand and still want the king bed. They find a way to do a little bit of everything. Now, one thing that kind of trips people up, Brinkely does not include a factory central vacuum system. Up in that front closet, they are prepped and ready for like a cordless, like a Dyson or Shark, a stick vac, the rechargeable kind. With an RV this big, the little pool cleaner kits are cumbersome. They eat up storage. They look ugly. They get dirty. They're hard to clean. Those cordless stick vacs are simple, easy, and they are very effective. And considering this RV has basically no carpet, it's a simple kind of ask to handle everything. Now, once again, you have the day-night shades going on here, even in the bedroom, which is nice. Again, I don't know if you can notice it. Look just up and to the left of that picture. You see the 2 little rubber bumpers on the walls, once again making sure that your door handles don't bash and gash into everything. They just take a little more time to kind of think things through that way, which is something that I really like. I started positioning myself here because I was thinking it would be time to close the bed slide up for road mode, but it occurs to me we have a whole garage we've got to check out yet. So I'm going to blindly Michael Jackson hee moonwalk down these steps, which is dangerous and not at all recommended, as we slowly turn you around like a record, baby, and get you back into that garage space. One thing I do really like, by maintaining those really tall ceilings, they've maintained the really tall slides as well, which allows the whole RV to look and feel massive, but it allows them to build good storage into those slides without making the whole space look and feel boxy and enclosed. What do you think so far? Like, we're not even done. We haven't even gone outside. Man, this thing's a behemoth. It is awesome. Now, you might notice there's a little bit of a step down in the garage. That's for a couple reasons. First of all, the main cabin floor is like thicker and there's more insulation heating going on below us. But the garage floor is not ignored. We're going to talk more about that in a minute. One thing I do want to point out, if you notice, the garage floor and the ramp have a lighter gray tone instead of jet black. First of all, it doesn't tend to look as dirty as people walk around it. Secondly, especially that ramp, if it's outside in the sun, it won't get quite as hot on your feet. So if you are walking around barefoot, you're not going to smell like your feet sizzling like bacon, in there. Now, if you look up top in the ceiling, the round circles as opposed to square circles, I'm an idiot. The circles on either side of the square air conditioner are your Bluetooth speaker system hooked all up to that Rockford Fosgate system. It is just, I'm telling you, I wish my camera equipment could properly capture audio on this. We'll talk about garage loading space when I'm at a better angle. First of all, you notice something a little bit different? I've got one sofa down, one sofa up. Most RVs don't allow you to do that. Now we still have that power drop queen bed above. It's the same Happy Jack bed lift system that you've seen for years, but they made one simple, easy little tweak to it. So you now have the ability to drop one or both sofas or no sofas. You can set the sofas to ride horizontally or vertically like I've done here. This is, again, something that is so simple and easy, but the industry has just been so stagnant and refusing to evolve and improve and update. I love how they're doing this, basically. Now, if we look down here, built right into the dovetail would normally just be a dead wasted space, but if we crack that open, you can see how there's actual storage down there. But notice, too, there's like an extension cord built in there. So if you want to be able to power something like tools or anything inside, like you want to set up a standing fan or something like that back here, I mean, again, you could come up with just about anything you could imagine with it. That's what's great about this. Now, from the back looking forward, this is a 14-foot garage. From the back of the dovetail to that forward wall where the door is 14 feet. And this thing is basically capable of accepting, as far as I know, about any side-by-side currently made. But you might notice you've got that closet-style half bath up there. Let's go zero in on that, because the cool thing is you can get that sucker out of the way. But first and foremost, remember how I said they're trying to give you some privacy. So many of these fold-away half bathrooms, they look and feel super cheap in the RV industry because it's like a sheet of Luan and matchsticks holding it all together. This is all aluminum framed. It all peg locks in place. When it folds away against the wall, again, you see the rubber bumpers. It will literally peg lock into basically that E-track so that the door stays shut when you're going down the road. It's genius. But in the meantime, it's also very comfortable and private. Now, the people are going to look at that and say, why is the toilet sitting so high up in the air? It's not. They just, instead of using the same long plastic stem as the rest of the industry, they do something different. And you can see that I do have good elbow room and everything around there. Now, in case you're wondering, you look at this, you're saying, okay, if it's Fajita Friday and I'm in the half bath and I'm doing business, there's no vent fan above me. That's because there's actually a vent fan beside you. You push it open and turn the fan on to, where's my switch? Right down here. There we go. You get your ventilation that way, close it down, switch it off, rawhide. You've got all the abilities there, not to mention you got the window so you can carry on a conversation with your neighbors. This I thought was really cool. I've never been a big fan of folding sinks in a lot of RVs because they're just chintzy and plastic and cheap. It doesn't read chintzy and plastic and cheap. And now, at first glance, you're like, what are you talking about? What am I? No, this isn't the kind of sink where you're going to fill it up with water and wash your face in it. What happens here is you have your hands under here. All the water just runs back into the actual sink drain back here. It's a little different. It's a little crazy. I get it. But I personally, I don't know. I kind of like it. And I did mention that is a full medicine cabinet. If you notice there, there is storage in that thing as well. So even the half bath, I think, is very well thought out, very intelligently done, very, very detailed overall. Now, that TV in the garage, thankfully, it is downward dog angled because otherwise it would be quite a thing to be able to look at that. And don't get me wrong, it is mounted up pretty high. I'm pretty sure there's a drop arm on that. I just haven't actuated. I do want to also mention that the pass-through door to the living cabin has a magnet holdback. So if you want to leave it open like I have right now and a wind picks up, it's not going to slam shut and break or anything like that. That's a nice little thoughtful detail. But I mentioned, what if you got a big wide side-by-side? What if you got custom tires? Well, that half bath gets out of the way, and there's enough room at that point that you will be able to load even large four-seaters into this 14-foot garage, even with custom tires. It can do all of the things, basically. It is, oh my Lord, there's just so much going on here. And I really like this. Now, I think 9 out of 10 people actually use lofts as attic storage, but I do like the fact that they try to put some kind of decent mattress in there. You may have noticed the Happy Jack bed also has a pretty decent mattress, and the ladder to get you up here is included, and it's a separate ladder from the one that gets you up and down the Happy Jack bed, so you have two separate ladders. But what's nice It's just a center load. So you come up, you can have cargo on the left, cargo on the right. You can climb up in the middle. You can access everything. But because it's a center load, like it feels like it already effectively has a don't fall out of bed safety gate kind of built right into it. I don't know. For me, I like it. I think it is really, really smart. Sorry, I thought I was going to talk about something. I was like, never mind. What we need to do at this point is close the slides up and look at this thing in road mode. And one of the reasons I'm weaving around this direction is because this sofa, again, it will have sensors and actuators and everything in it so that like your slides won't be able to close and like accidentally crush it. But when you see it, it's going to look like a cushion nightmare. Remember, this is just a prototype. Now, when the slides close in here, it's going to get tight. But one of the things that I mentioned is how you could have this closed up and clamshelled into like mega bed mode. And you don't necessarily need to be in road mode to do this, but road mode essentially forces you into that position. Now, again, you're going to see all of those cushions. I just stuffed them under the Dinesk because I think that's a good place for them to ride. But they are going to come up with a better cushion solution than that, so it's not quite as cumbersome and clumsy, and you don't have to, it's currently time consuming, but that will be changing. So working our way around here, you can see that like refrigerator, kitchen access is largely lost. However, when we step outside, the RV actually has an outside mini fridge to give you some traveling fridge access. Now, speaking of traveling access, since the hallway is right over here on the same side as the bathroom, getting up into this area using like quick bathroom potty stop, not a problem. But here's the thing. Most towable RVs, and I stress towable, with sliding beds, you're not actually supposed to, at least the manufacturer won't guarantee that it's okay if you sleep in them while the slide is retracted. Brinkely knows RVing because their founders and their lead product managers go RVing. Their bed slides, they actually say, as long as you're not trying to do the Macho Man Randy Savage atomic elbow, brother, well, you can use this for a travel stayover without ever bumping the slide. So you can get to all of your sleeping, you can get to the bathroom, the half bath, and the outside fridge in transit. And this thing is big, it is beautiful. I'm not even sure I'm gonna get the whole thing in the camera frame in one shot. There we go. So I'm literally crawling in like a storage rack over here. So while I'm working on getting my foot unstuck that you can't see on camera, enjoy an extended look at the weights and measures over here. Let's talk towing real quick. We're gonna get to the amazing holding tank capacities on this in just a second. First of all, you're going to be, I think it's very clear, you either need the Ford freaking Ranger, or more seriously, joking aside, you are absolutely dually country. Like there's no question, I think about that. The towing factors though. By default, this has 7K axles with 8K springs and conventional like drum brakes. There is an optional axle package that will bump it up to 8K axles that will give you disc brakes. In addition, it also comes with the Dexter Tow Assist package, which is both electronic anti-sway as well as analog braking. So there's a major upgrade there. Not to mention these always run on 17.5-inch Cooper H-rated tires. You have a MORryde shock dampening suspension package. Greasable Zerks brass fittings on your suspension. This is something that if you want to be moving around, it can handle that, but also doing so safely and comfortably, assuming the proper truck, of course. And that's where there's a couple other things that come into play. So there's some other RVs out there that offer disc brakes and anti-lock brakes, but that Gen Y hitch that is standard on the G series right here, that is absolutely an amazing solution for taking the bucking and chucking out of the towing experience. Like if you go over some bumpy stuff, or if you have to hit the brakes, you don't feel like the RV's punching your truck in the back. That will isolate so much of what the truck and the RV will do interacting with one another. Additionally, you have sumo springs on these, and those are an absolutely amazing thing. They provide better stability. They take a lot of, again, bouncing out of the RV, so that when you get there, your cabinets aren't just all strewn around in disarray. That's just a very brief overview here. Now, you notice how you're looking at a half partition. When we get into the Patio, you'll actually see that it has two fold-up wall sections. I've left one up and one down right now, and that's kind of a cool thing because it allows you a lot of customization and control over your cargo setup on this one right here. So if you have big stuff or if you want to keep stuff separated, you can do all that. Because I just like the Offspring taught us growing up, sometimes you've got to keep them separated when you want to come out and play. Let's take a look over here. So we've again got that 3000 pure sine inverter over here. This also has a 50 amp charge controller with 800 watts of solar up on the roof. I'll give you a quick little peek at that in just a few minutes. But down below here, you see some onboard factory lithium phosphate batteries helping keep this thing powered up. But notice how much open space you have. You want to add some more of those Renogy's? I think I'm eyeballing it. I don't know this for a fact. I think you could fit about 6 of those in there. Now, obviously, hydraulic slides and leveling, so that's all your hydro kind of equipment stuff right there. And this is a front drop frame, which is what allows them to have that good cargo up front, as well as, all the space for the batteries and that dual fuel flex power 5500 inverter generator right there. Again, that thing is very, very cool. Now, these have been out in the field a little bit. I would be kind of curious, some Brinkley Model G owners who are out there who have used that generator, can you leave some feedback for the class and just kind of share, what your experience has been with it? Now, another, again, major critical deal, if you are at a travel stop, Brinkely does rate their bed slides to be slept in while the slide is closed. Most manufacturers don't do that. You may notice also not a Schwintek slide. That's what's called a slim rack system. Also, you've got a factory standard full observation suite going on here with side view and rear view cameras. The rear view camera is going to be a little bit difficult for you to see because we've got the patio awning out today. Oh, I forgot about this. I'm going to take a knee and make my knees pop and lock like a hip hop dancer. Look up the very top of the screen. You can see a couple little white lights. I love that they have lighting under their overhead slide. And I'm a little over 6 foot. I can walk under that thing. It's actually pretty impressive. It's also kind of cool. Like, look at that bedroom window. You notice where the window overlaps with the white part of the RV, they put like a little white see-through mask on it. When you're in the RV, you never notice it. When you're outside of the RV, you're like, oh, I can't see out of it. No, you totally can. I also want to clarify, when you look at that propane tank, it looks rather small because the RV is huge. It's a 30-pound propane tank, but they size those compartments for 40-pound tanks in case you want to put something larger on there. Like maybe you do really want to run the generator off propane, or maybe you're cold camping and you're going to be chugging that furnace. Well, it's nice to be able to do that. They also have, I think this is an industry first, 3 500-pound rated MORryde slide-out storage trays right here. And what these are intended for is just all kinds of random utility nonsense. But stored in there right now, these are the steps that come with the rear patio that we're going to take a look at. You can actually even store that telescopic removable ladder right here in the same compartment. So that will leave you 2 completely untapped compartments. And then we get down in here. First of all, look at that little... So the door doesn't accidentally get flung open behind and under that slide, so that if you close that hydraulic slide, nothing overlaps and breaks. It's kind of like all those little rubber bumpers that you find on their cabinetry inside, so the handles don't ding stuff up. It's just that simple, smart, little inexpensive stuff that prevents major damage on the RV. So you've got a 12-volt powered 50-amp cord reel, obviously built right in here. But that's the thing. You've got a 50-amp cord reel built right in. You have a handy little water line here on a little auto retract extension built right in. There's also an air hose and a external extension cord, power cord built right in on those retractable things. So they're just doing all kinds of crazy stuff here. The electronic dump gate valves, that is a kind of one of those things that Brinkley's really kind of changing the market on. You're seeing other people adopt. You don't have to crawl around on the ground to open your dump gate valves. You push a button and it does the work for you, kind of like scrubbing bubbles, and there is a manual override for those. Now this RV has it has amazing holding tank capacities. Let's kind of dive into that while we're looking down here into this forced air heated front pass-through compartment. This crazy thing has a total of 156 gallons of gray water capacity and a big fresh tank capacity and some serious black tank capacity overall. The way that they've done it, I think, is pretty smart because Brinkley's very good about cross-plumbing their gray tanks together. I've actually got a Brinkley factory video tour where you can learn a little bit more about that. I'll try to remember to leave a link in the video description. But essentially, what you're going to get here is your living room and your kitchen. Those two 52-gallon gray tanks are cross-plumbed together. So that's a true 104-gallon kitchen, like basically living cabin gray water capacity. Your half bath has its own totally separate 52-gallon gray tank and its own separate black tank. And again, it has its own separate gray and black tank dump gate valves, all of which are controlled in that one main control panel right there. So all the things that could be done, they have, generally speaking, done them. Now, again, we've got that third of those 500-pound rated MORryde slide-out trays that are down there. And then this guy over here, to help with, to overcome the potential, fridge access traveling challenge that you may face, this thing out here, this is a 12-volt fridge freezer. Basically, you can set the temp what you want, and it will freeze stuff. I've got something similar in my office back in my room, and that thing gets the job done, son. So that can leave you an option for a couple little travel snacks as needed, or just cut down a lot of foot traffic. And you see how you've got those fold-up steps right there so that you can take a lot, you can brush that kind of stuff off before you fold them up into the RV, so you don't end up with, dirt and grime all over the place. Now, as I back up here, one of the things that is difficult to showcase during the day and with all the lights on in the building here, and I don't know where the switches or breakers are, or I would turn the lights off, so apologies, is the exterior lighting package on this is nuts. First of all, just for campsite use, it's awesome. You can see how you got the triple power awnings, all with their own lighting. You also have ground effect under lighting on both sides of the axles, both in front of and behind those tires. There's LED light strips down below. By the way, I forgot this. Over by that little mini fridge, between the mini fridge and the steps, there's actually a little gas grill hooker kind of tucked away back there. So that if you do want to do some outdoor grilling or something like that, you got the perfect place for it, and you certainly have plenty of room over there to be able to store all of that stuff. Your entry door also has a programmable deadbolt keypad, so if you're going to go out and about, you don't want to risk losing your keys, you don't got to worry about it. Now, the lighting underneath is RGBW, multicolor, basically, so if you want to make it look like a purple Decepticon, you totally could. It is very, very cool. They've also got some extra lighting to help you for backup safety, which I think is really nice. Now, we mentioned this briefly, but we have 17.5-inch H-rated Cooper tires down here. By default, you have 7K axles with drum brakes and 8K springs. There we go. Then you have an option to go 8K axles with disc brakes, and you get the Dexter tow assist package with that. So there's a lot of things going on there. No matter what, you always will enjoy the benefit of a banded TPMS system, basically an integrated TPMS. Now, sometimes people ask in the garage, why did they cheap out? Why didn't they go with the big fancy folding steps? Because you're going to, those were like MORryde or Lippert steps or whatever, you would fold those into your garage and potentially smash your ATV or kayaks or e-bikes or whatever, and you don't want to do that. So there's still skirted style steps right there. There is no window in this entry door, and I mean, I'm having to be picky with a map and glasses. I kind of feel like at this stage, that wouldn't offend me. Just put I don't know. But by the way, if that's a major issue for you, we can add windows to doors. It's actually quite simple. Now, remember how we saw the retractable water hose? Over here in the campsite of the RV, there's also a retractable, household extension cord in a sense. So if you want to be able to run, I don't know, just like a random tools or something like that, you've got a great space to do it. Or under this rear power awning, if you wanted to get nuts like Michael Keaton and Batman, let's get nuts. Anybody remember that? Anyway, Prince wrote the music for that, the theme song. Anyway, you've got the perfect place to do it. You could have a sweet tailgate patio party here. Speaking of sweet tailgating, you've got all this goodness going on back here. Again, you've got the Ahsoka Tano lightsaber lighting instead of the Morse code ... dash lighting up here. It just looks cleaner, kind of like the nose cap and the other awning lights and underneath of it, By the way, you see that yellow rip cord right there. Well, that is like a manual disengage for what is effectively an RV hatchback. This has an electronic locking system on this rear patio back here, which is actually in your big fancy toy haulers, that's pretty normal. It is the MORryde I call 0G system. It's easy up, easy down. It is a, I don't like the phrase weather. People ask, is it weatherproof? It's called weather resistant. Like if it was crazy tsunami raining and stuff, I wouldn't leave this thing out. I would close shop up personally, but you do have that locking 3 seasons patio door factory standard, and kind of like they now have that a gray garage ramp so that it's not quite as hot on your feet. They're also using a white 3 seasons patio door, which I think just won't be quite as sizzling hot to the touch. And look where the taillights are located. This is how it's supposed to be done. So many RVs, they'll put the taillights right down at ground level. When lights are up a little bit higher like this, they are safer. So kind of keep that in mind. Plus, again, for when you are backing up into your site, you've got the extra tail lighting down here to be able to see what's going on. Now over here, they've done a little tweak since I think my first or even my second Model G video, where they've kind of packaged everything together. So first of all, on the right-hand side in this compartment, you have your dual 30-gallon fuel cells. Now they are separated. They do not cross-plumb. That's by intention, so that if you want high-octane stuff for your side-by-side and you want standard fuel for your generator, you can do that. If you don't care, you don't want different fuel, film the same fuel. It doesn't matter. This thing right here has a 135 max PSI rating on this onboard air compressor. And again, has a built-in retractable hose with that kind of shop-style quick release, quick connect on it. What they're doing here is just, that makes so much sense. I tell you what, if you've ever gotten a head rush trying to inflate pool toys for the kids, you're going to be real happy that's there, let alone putting air pressure in your tires, which is good for more than your toys. Like if you got a side-by-side, you catch a flat or ATV or anything like that, your own vehicle, the RV, you could use the onboard air compressor to get you out of a serious pinch. Now, the RV actually has 2 Stinky Slinky sewer hose caddies. You've got one for the rear hookups and one for the front. Because the RV is so big and everything is so far apart, there was no way to not have a dual sewer hookup like this. And again, it comes factory standard with the 330-pound rated telescopic removable ladder. And here's one of the things I like. They intentionally mount it right next to the slide, because if you take a look at this, you may actually see my footprint on top of that slide out. That's because it's a fully walkable slide, and it is intended by the factory to be able to use that slide roof as a step for transitioning, from the ladder to the roof. And I'm probably easily 225 pounds right now. Absolutely no flex under me as I stood on top of that kitchen slide to get up and down there. Now, as you look around, you can see the factory standard 800 watts of solar. There's also, again, that backup camera, but one of the more amazing things about this is how they're using a different variety of roof sealant to drastically reduce maintenance schedules, give you more peace of mind, and do everything that they reasonably can from the factory level to eliminate one of the scariest things in the RV industry, a leak, which if you talk to RVers is a 4-letter word. And if you talk to an English teacher, it's a 4-letter word. So if this is your first time watching a Brinkley RV video, this might be news to you. Other folks, you've heard this before. They use what I call diesel pusher roof sealant system on this, which essentially the sealant doesn't really need upkeep. It doesn't really need replaced. Now, what I did not say is this RV has a problem-free philosophy, Hakuna Matata, never ever got to maintain it kind of roof structure. I would still highly recommend getting up there probably at least twice a season to just visually inspect, maybe do a quick roof membrane cleaning, keep the RV looking real nice and stuff like that. Not to mention, sometimes maybe Mother Nature threw you a curve and like a stick flying through the air scraped your roof membrane and did some little chattering up there and you didn't know about it and you want to touch that up. But the fact is, They've done more on this RV to give you more peace of mind that requires less upkeep right from the factory level. But kind of like there's also other just clean detail things. Sort of like you didn't see the machine gun stapler method of slide fascia attachment. You also don't see any like exterior facing fasteners holding things like your skirting on, because it's all like backside riveted, which reminds me of the time that my older brother mouthed off to my mother while we were camping, and she told him to go pick his switch, and he got backside riveted, if you know what I mean. By the way, anybody out there familiar with the phrase pick your switch? Thankfully, I got to see my brother demonstrate what not to do firsthand. He was an amazing older brother, but he was a little bit more of a method actor to teach me what not to do, if you follow me. So as always, let me know in the comments below what you think about this one. Leave Brinkley some notes, and maybe just drop, if you have nothing else to say, drop a comment just says, hey, thanks Brinkley for taking the time to stage this up and get this RV brought in for us, because it's currently a snowstorm outside. It was not fun driving here today, but they were cool enough to get this brought in so that we could enjoy this footage today for you. So drop them a note, let them know where they nailed it, how they could improve a little bit further, and of course, one of the big questions, how much is this sucker gonna run? I will leave you a link in the video description to check for pricing and availability. This is early access footage. So when this video first comes out, we may have nothing more than MSRP available on our website, but our folks can certainly assist you with a discounted sale price individually. Give them a call, we're happy to assist you. Whew, this was a big one. This was a fun one. This wasn't work, you know. I think Mark Twain said, if you find a job you love, you'll never work another day in your life. This was a good time today. I'm glad to be here. Take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone. Glamping. Is there a level above glamping?